Hello everyone, welcome to today's news charter. Let us begin the session with a prelims practice question. So today we have a question on art and culture. Art and culture is a topic generally people ignore a lot by thinking that it's better to just go with history. Maybe one or two questions we can avoid even if we are getting from art and culture, but that should not be the approach because art and culture is a game changer. Sometimes you may end up getting even 5 questions, so 10 marks makes a huge difference. So that's why you need to study art and culture also very clearly. Look at this question. Which of the following temples is an example of the mature phase of Dravidian temple of the Chola period? Temples of Chola period, Pallava period especially are extremely important. You need to study about them. Let's look at the option. Kapalishwara temple, which is near Chennai, it is not of Chola period. Airavateshwara temple, that is also not of Chola period. Gangaikonda Cholapuram, of course, it is in Tanjore and it is a very important, and almost everyone would have studied about this. It is a direct question from NCRT. So that is the answer. Kailasanatha temple was constructed during Pallava period. So that is not the answer. Let's get into the first topic of the day. Bharat Rise for prelims this year specifically. Bharat Rise is a very important topic. Need to study about it. What is this initiative? It is an initiative to bring down the rice prices. So rice prices have been increasing in the recent times, and rice, wheat, tomato, onion, potato, these are staples in India. So if their price rise, then the entire food prices in the country will increase. So if the food prices in the country will increase, inflation in the country will increase. So in order to reduce the prices of rice, the government has come up with an initiative called as Bharat Rice. Here, what the government will be doing is it will come up with retail sale of Bharat Rice. Bharat Rice is a trademark provided, and with this, in retail market, the government is going to sell, and the price for this is fixed, 29 rupees per kg. That's all. So the food inflation in the country is going to decline because of this initiative. It is already there for atta also, and maybe in future the government will bring it for other food products too. So it will be available in all physical mobile outlets of Kendriya Bhandar, National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India, that is NAFED, and National Cooperative Consumers Federation of India, NCCF. These three bodies should be remembered. This rice is physically available in the outlets of three organizations. One is Kendriya Bhandar, second one is NAFED, third one is National Cooperative Consumers Federation of India, NCCF. So Bharat brand rice will be sold in family friendly 5 kg pack and 10 kg bags. That should be known. Right. So for prelims, these kind of topics are very important. Recently, a case is going on in Supreme Court where the question is very simple. We all know that preamble is amendable. Preamble can be amended by the government. But the problem is in the preamble, the last line says the people of India have adapted this constitution on this particular date, that is 26th day of November 1949. When the date is mentioned, if you are amending the preamble, you should be amending the date also, right? Because we cannot keep the amended version. Let's say in 1972, the Indira Gandhi government amended the preamble of the constitution, added two important words. One is socialist and second one secular. So when they have changed the preamble, they cannot keep the date intact. So this is a question in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is trying to answer this question. The hearing is going on. We do not know whether this can be done or not. That's not the problem here for us. The most important point is when was the preamble amended? The preamble was amended just once in the history of the country. That was the 42nd constitutional amendment when Indira Gandhi was the prime minister in 1972. And based on what exactly the amendment of preamble stands? The Supreme Court gave a verdict in Keshavananda Bharati case in which the Supreme Court told that preamble of the constitution is not implementable provision, but then it is also a part of the constitution. So if the government wants to amend the preamble, it can amend the preamble. So this is the basic idea which you should be knowing as a aspirant. Let's move on to the next one. Very important topic, MS Swaminathan. For mains specifically, in prelims, of course, such factual questions are always important, but this particular topic is important for mains also. The reason is very simple. In GS3, there is a topic contribution of Indian scientists towards science. So, MS Swaminathan is one of the pioneers in biotechnology in India. He is a champion of green revolution. We need to study about MS Swaminathan because of these factors. He is called as the father of the green revolution of India. He worked with Norman Borlaug. Norman Borlaug is the person who hybridized wheat varieties so that the wheat varieties can provide more output. So he worked with Norman Borlaug. India at that time did not have dwarf variety of wheat. So he designed a semi-dwarf variety which will provide extremely good output. So because of this, green revolution in India started. It boomed in states, especially Punjab and Haryana, and some parts of Uttar Pradesh also. Because of which we became self-sufficient. Later, we introduced high-yielding variety of rice also in states such as Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, etc. High-yielding rice varieties were planted, which resulted in increase in production of rice. So wheat and rice, the most important staples of Indians, it's their production increased. So MS Swaminathan is the person who built the foundation for green revolution in India. In 1960s and 70s, India was struggling with food products. India did not have enough amount of food to feed its own people. Droughts were very common. Famines extremely common. In 1942 to 45, Bengal saw extremely violent famines. Lakhs and lakhs of people died, and that this was the major reason why MS Swaminathan decided that he will not pursue doctor, he will pursue biotechnology. So all these things apart, the major contribution is he is the father of green revolution. He introduced the high yielding dwarf variety of wheat in India, and because of this, India became self sufficient in food. So these are all the basic things most of the people know. Some things which other people do not know. That is what you need to concentrate. He was the chairman of National Commission of Farmers. He was interested in the welfare of farmers. He did not just concentrate on increasing the rice production or wheat production in the country. He wanted farmers of the country to be happy. He wanted a welfare-based economy for the farmers of the country. So he gave a report as the chairman of National Commission of Farmers, the Swaminathan report. In this Swaminathan report, he mentioned that the minimum support price which the government is providing, that should be higher. The minimum support price which the government is providing at present, it is not enough for the farmers. So what he proposed is whatever is the production cost of the crops, from that increase 50 percentage of the cost. So 1.5 times of production cost should be the minimum support price. Then the farmer will end up having some resource in his hand. So he will become self-sufficient himself. He will be able to introduce better quality fertilizers, pesticides, etc. In his field, so that the production will increase. His economic status will also increase. So this recommendation is very important. He played a major role in framing an important legislation, that is Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act 2001. So this is the act which provides farmers the protection to plant their own varieties. If a company is coming and framing some contract with the farmers, this is the act which prevents people or prevent corporates from exploiting the farmers. So this act is very important. He played a major role in designing this act. Indian Ocean Conference. So at present, Indian Ocean Conference is going on. It is going on in Perth, Australia. The 2024 version is going on in Perth, Australia. The fact is extremely important. The first such conference happened in 2016. It was in Singapore. That should be known. The sixth conference, that is in 2023, the conference happened in Bangladesh. So these are all the basic points. So what exactly is Indian Ocean Conference? India is consistent in trying to increase the security of Indian Ocean, trying to provide good security infrastructure for all the Indian Ocean countries, prevent piracy, prevent any kind of extra state functioning in Indian Ocean region. So, in order to get all the states into a single consensus, it has started Indian Ocean Conference. It is a flagship consultative forum of Indian Ocean countries to deliberate upon the prospects of regional cooperation and security and growth for all in the region. Sagar initiative is an initiative of Indian government to provide security and sustainable development for all the countries who are the littoral states of Indian Ocean. So these points should be noted down. The practice question of the day, a very simple question. Critically examine the impacts of green revolution on Indian agriculture. So the positives we have already talked about. We need to talk about the negatives also. Negatives, very simple. Extreme exploitation of land resources, extreme exploitation of water resources, which result in increased aridity of the land. Land became more saline and more dependence on wheat and rice, which resulted in nutritional deficiency of people. People started to focus more on carbohydrates based food. People did not focus more on protein and vitamins and minerals. Apart from this, climate change, huge amount of methane emission. Climate change, it contributes for global warming. So these points should be noted down, and you can write a way forward that we have become self-sufficient in agriculture and food production because of green revolution, but now it is the time to become sustainable also. So sustainable green revolution is the requirement of the time. One important point which you can use in your answer for mains examination. See, the government of India in its national health policy mentioned that we need to increase the percentage of expenditure or investment in health to 2.5 percentage of GDP. But at present, the government total expenditure for health infrastructure is just 1 percentage of its GDP, which is extremely less. For a country which is going to be the third biggest economy of the world very soon, just 1 percentage of its GDP being spent on health infrastructure is very bad. We need to increase it to at least 2.5 percentage of GDP, especially after facing such big pandemics such as COVID. This is the necessity of the time. So that will be all for today. All the best, study well. Let's meet tomorrow.